Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Lynnea.
And this is Dusted or Busted. Last week, Gia was eliminated, and all the queens come back in, and they untalk a little bit. They talk about Trinity and her HIV status, because she didn't get a chance to mention it in front of everybody. It was just the safe girls from last week.
Talked about Laganja a little bit.
Oh yeah, they did.
I don't remember which queen said it, but one of them said that her emotions get the best of her, and that's not going to fare well for her in the competition.
So the next day, they start the mini challenge, and it's the reading mini challenge, where the girls all line up, and they each take shots at each other. I thought Laganja tried too hard. Imagine that.
She did. It all sounded very scripted.
Imagine that. And I thought Darian's was just plain stupid.
It was. Also, Trinity, why would you make fun of yourself in a reading challenge? Like, why would you turn the joke on you? That's not
funny.
The point.
I thought it was kind of funny.
It seemed to me like she gave up.
It kind of took ammo away from the other girls, because they could have read her for it. And if you read yourself first, then it takes the fun out of it for other people.
I suppose.
So this week's main challenge was to make a 90s style rap video. And since Darian Lake won the mini challenge, she got to pick who she wanted in her crew. And she chose Adore, Laganja, Courtney, and Bianca. And Laganja was in charge of their choreography, and Adore was just getting fed up with it. It was hilarious.
Was not having
She's
it.
like,
she didn't like the whole...
She's like, what is this shit? We can't be doing this. And I'm starting to love that Adore and Laganja came into this, the best of friends, and Adore is just moving away.
Darian just didn't have anything nice to say to anybody this week.
I don't know what was up with her this week. Maybe her blood sugar was down. The more that I see Darian Lake, the more I realize she really is a lot like Pandora. And Pandora and Darian Lake are drag family. Darian Lake is Pandora's mother.
In the workroom this week, it seemed like we were creating new words. It was like Dr. Seuss. First we had Trinity K. Bonet saying unenunciate. And what she was going for was enunciation. But instead we heard unenunciate, and she didn't even have her flipper in. And then we had Darian Lake saying that she's a woman from the suburbs. I don't know where the suburbs are, but it doesn't sound like a very friendly place.
They start filming the videos, and Trina and Eve are their coaches, and guest stars, guest judges. And Bianca is just killing it. And they cut to Adore Delano in her little side interview. And she goes, Bianca's just amazing. She's everything I want to be when I'm 57. There wasn't a whole lot to say about that team. I mean, Darian was kind of bad. They didn't show Courtney at all.
They didn't show
Adore was good. Laganja fucked up a little bit, but she did okay in the end.
She did okay.
Then they go to the other team, the Wu-Tang Clan, which consisted of Dayla, Milk, Trinity, and Jocelyn.
And they didn't show Jocelyn at all, either.
Milk was just a disaster.
In the Prager's mood.
Which isn't going to make sense to even Trina.
No.
It'll make sense to everyone who's seen this show. And then I just love, because she's doing her wide shot, which is...
a mess.
Yeah. And then Eve and Trina are laughing, and Jocelyn Fox, of all people, goes, I just hope Eve and Trina are laughing with her, and not at her.
When Trinity K. Bonet needs to have a disclaimer saying, oh, this might not be very good. Well... that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. There wasn't really one team that stood out above the other, in my opinion. I thought they were both kind of mediocre. I just overall didn't like the challenge.
Yeah, this episode was really weird. I liked the Can I Get an Amen challenge a lot more. Where my people at?
Home.
But then we get back into the workroom for the next challenge, and Bianca's talking to, like, everybody and throwing little bits of shade, like she's talking to Milk, and she's saying, are you gonna do a glam look?
And Milk goes, and she's kind of, like, fiddling around with it, and Bianca goes, is not an answer. Also, it's nice to see that Bianca has a heart. I thought that she was very kind to the other queens in the workroom. Yeah, she was reading them, but she was also being very supportive, especially of Trinity. And I saw something online that was like reviewing the episode. The review said something about how then Bianca talked about her friend's suicide, and I was like, what? So then I went back and watched that segment, and she had mentioned, like, my friend was diagnosed with HIV. She expressed that, like, she just couldn't take it anymore. She couldn't deal with it. And then she said she passed away.
I didn't know that.
Now, and again, they might have been reading into it a little bit too much, but, like, the fact that she was, like she just couldn't handle the fact that, or the person just couldn't handle the fact that they were HIV positive. And I was like, maybe that was the case. And if that is, that's
sad.
like exceptionally sad. It's sad anyway. Mm-hmm. But for Bianca to open up about something that personal, you know, some people are saying it's strategic for her to like show that she has a heart, but no, like that's genuine. And I really appreciated that moment on the runway, in the workroom, excuse me. Hello? Who is it?
Is that all the shit from your old car?
Really? Marty, you probably got lice in it, man. What?
So, moving to the actual runway after their time preparing for that, they were it was like crazy, sexy, cool, but they were also supposed to include their favorite body part. Jocelyn's look was, as usual, very busy, and I didn't like her white lips, but whatever.
Yeah.
I liked Dayla's look. I thought it looked really good on her. It showed off her figure, was a great color. Mm-hmm. Trinity K. Bonet, I personally didn't like her look. But I thought it looked good on her.
I liked it.
If that makes sense. Milk's was boring.
However, it was more feminine.
Props to her for trying to do what the judges told her. Laganja's was really busy.
I didn't like it. I could tell that she was showing off her legs. Mm-hmm. But it was super busy, and that hair was weird on her.
Darian's, I thought I was going to like, but the more I looked at it, I really didn't. It was kind of boring, and the fact that she's shown us that she can do better made that look even less impressive. I loved Bianca's look, mm-hmm. That hair and the color. That's how you do a caftan, children. Adore.
I really liked the idea and the style of the gown. I also love that when Michelle read her for the length. She goes, "You have a waist, but it's still hitting mid-shin." And Adore goes, she does a little Anna Nicole moment. She goes, "I had to wear it because it shows off my body."
That was really funny. I like Adore.
A thing about the length of the dresses. We've heard it, and we've heard it again, and we've heard it again, and we've heard it again. Now, the thing is,
you can make a dress shorter,
but you can't make a dress longer, and I'm pretty sure Adore knows that whatever she wears, she's going to get read for the length.
Right.
And if, like, honestly, the only thing that Michelle said this week was that it was too short. If that's the only flaw with something, and you can't change it, what are you going to do?
Courtney, I liked it.
Yeah. It was fun, it was glam, and it fit the challenge. So, props to Courtney. Plus, resting on pretty, that hair was anything but pretty. So
it was intentionally like she had just gotten out of bed. My favorite on the runway was Bianca. I love that auburn hair on her, and I mean, her dresses are always going to be tailored perfectly for her. And I just really loved her entire ensemble this week.
My most dusted on the runway was Courtney Act. I mean, I think she hit the challenge on the head with it. Mm-hmm. And I love something that's really conceptual.
My worst on the runway was the Ganja.
Same here.
Okay, so we agreed on that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, can we just say right now, first episode, I think, ever, where Laganja didn't cry.
I thought in the video, Jocelyn did great. She continues to surprise me in a good way. She really is the dark horse of this competition. I think she's gonna go a lot further than we initially thought that she was. Mm-hmm. So Adore won this week, which I liked because I liked her outfit in the video too. Bottom two were Milk and Trinity. And as much as we don't appreciate Milk, I think that Darian deserved to be in the bottom two more than Milk this week, this challenge.
I will agree with that. This lip sync, it was definitely a Trinity song. It was up her alley. But Milk, if I were to see her doing it in like a club or something at a drag show, I wouldn't have thought it was bad.
No, she did a nice
and
job.
And I wouldn't say Trinity was like miles better than Milk.
Trinity can lip sync the house down, but she needs to stop relying on that to get her from week to week.
I think the next time she lands in the bottom two, no matter how well she does, she's going home. The 3 safe girls who get to go back first are Dayla, Courtney, and Laganja. And Laganja's talking about how she thinks Adore should be in the bottom two. But I really want Adore to win. So she's saying like 2 different things, one after the other.
I think that Laganja flip-flops very easily because she wants to say what she thinks people want to hear. Because she wants to be popular. Because she's so insecure.
And her only friend is gone now.
When they were in the gold bar and they were like trying to give clues as to which queens were on the card, there were some people online who thought that Courtney and Bianca weren't getting along because Courtney said Bianca wasn't pretty. I would like to clear that up because I don't think that's the case at all. When Courtney said, well, like she's kind of pretty but not pretty, but she's pretty, I interpret that to mean Bianca's look is not what you would consider like traditional pretty fish. It's very heavy makeup. It's more camp, but it is pretty in her own way. It's just not what we would. It's not like Courtney pretty because she's got like the huge eyelashes and like overpaints everything. Mm-hmm. I still think she looks gorgeous, and Courtney was even saying, yeah, she's pretty, but not in the like conventional sense. And then when the other queens came into the workroom, I love that Jocelyn had a backbone and read Miss Trinity and basically said, if you can't advocate for yourself, like that's not our job. Also in Untucked, this letter from Gia. What was that about?
Favorite moment of the whole season.
Oh, let it go. She is done. We sent her home. And Bianca said, she's reading you from the dead. I think the producers are running out of ideas. And that letter was clearly written by someone else. Gia's not that smart. She's that mean and that shady, but she's not that smart. So, my shade list, I'm going to start with Gia because I thought that last week was the last time that she was going to be on my shade list. But Miss Thing writes a letter. All right, you can make my list. Go ahead. Also Darian because she's being real damn shady to everyone because she's so insecure. Trinity, also insecure and just complaining that the challenges don't cater to her. That's not the point. The point is to show that you are adaptable and flexible and versatile. And if you can't be those things, then you should not be America's Next Drag Superstar. And finally on my shade list.
Our shade list.
Our shade list.
For once.
All of the people who have commented on our first video where we had our predictions for this show.
Like, cunty biased review. All reviews are biased. One person said, I can't wait for Milk to win.
Another person said, did you guys even do research on Milk?
Yes. That's why we don't like her.
We did research on all of the queens.
It took hours.
And the reason why we did that was because we don't want to sound like fools coming on here and saying something that isn't true. Did we make some mistakes with the predictions? Absolutely. How are we supposed to know that the first challenge, Kelly Mantle, who is a very accomplished drag queen, would be sent home first? You just never know.
We also said we think Vivacious should go far, and she didn't. We said we think she should, but we also said she probably won't.
So you can all have a seat. Have several seats. Go back to the video, watch it, and then tell us what you think.
It's not personal. It's drag. So who is your dusted of the week?
Us. No, my most dusted of the week would be Miss Adore Delano. I loved her look in the video. I loved her performance in the video. And I loved her look on the runway.
I really liked Adore too. But since you already talked about Adore, I kind of want to bring some variety in. So I'm going to say my dusted of the week was Jocelyn Fox. Because her rap was so good. And the producers and the editors really threw us for a loop by not showing her at all. Mm-hmm. And then she's killing it. And that look in the video was really good.
So good.
And on the runway, It was a little bit busy, but I still liked it.
Mm-hmm.
So Jocelyn Fox, you're my Dusted of the Week.
Busted of the week, Darian Lake.
Yeah. The very first reading challenge, where she just had to tell Dayla that she's full of herself, to, telling Dayla it's none of your fucking business why I didn't want you on my team, to wearing that god-awful thing in the rap video, to fucking up the rap, to wearing that plain dress on the runway. I've had it.
Predictions for next week.
The mini challenge that they have to do is hand modeling, where they have to put on, nails and, they have to do drag on the top half of their body, which is going to be in the shot, and they have to hand model vegetables. And Laganja wins, and then RuPaul says, you're going to have to do a little pitch for my new makeup, and you're going to be in teams of 2. And I get to pick the teams. Can we just talk about that? That is shady producing.
Mm-hmm.
Because the teams she picks are Laganja and Adore,
Rivals.
Darian and Dayla,
Rivals.
Trinity and Bianca,
Rivals.
Courtney and Jocelyn, where basically Jocelyn is riding on Courtney's coattails because she's such a fangirl.
Yeah.
But I think that team is going to do really well. Darian and Dayla are together, and as we've said, Darian doesn't want anything to do with Ben De La Creme. And she is so resistant, and it just reminds me of All Stars, when Pandora Box got paired up with Mimi I'm First. And Mimi I'm First really, really wanted to redeem herself from season 3, where she wasn't really liked.
They would have made an amazing team.
Mm-hmm.
If they would have if Pandora would have gotten over herself.
And I think that's going to be the same thing with Darian Lake. I think Darian Lake is just going to be so full of herself and not be able to work with Dayla, because that could be a good team too. I think Jocelyn and Courtney are going to win. One of those two. Now, what I also think is going to happen, something shady, like in the Frenemies Challenge for Season 4, the worst team is going to have to lip sync against each other. Which, if Darian has to lip sync against Dayla, I think Ben De La Creme is going to win.
Oh, you know it. I agree with you. I think that Courtney's team is going to do really... I'm calling it Courtney's team, but it's really Courtney and Jocelyn. Is going to do well. And I just think that because Darian and Ben won't be able to work together, that they're going to end up in the bottom 2. Hopefully Darian won't be with us much longer. Hopefully Laganja won't be with us much longer, because I've had it with them. And hopefully we won't be hearing anything more from Miss Gia. This episode was kind of a letdown after Snatch Game.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of Dusted or Busted. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell us what you thought of this week's episode, who you think is going to be in the bottom 2 next week, and your predictions for the rest of the season. Thanks so much for watching.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, hello, hello. This is our drink in honor of milk. Well, in honor of milk.
In memory of.
In memory of milk. Although I'm pretty sure she's gone but not forgotten. So, for milk, this drink is lactose free. And since apparently the milk turned, it's going to be a little bit sour. So we have UV blue, and we're going to put 1 shot in our glasses. A ½ ounce of De Kuyper Sour Apple Pucker. And just to bring out a little bit more orange flavor, we're going to use an ounce of triple sec. And now we're just going to add a splash of sweet and sour. And finally, to top it off and to water it down, like Milk's fashions, we're going to add some club soda. We should call it the Prager's Mood because it's full of alcohol.
The drinks are getting prettier.
Remember April? It smells good.
Cheers. Thank you for watching.